Welcome to the Time Newscasters. We're going to be going back in time to the 1700s to interview George Rogers Clark. But for that, we're going to need the Invisivan. Everybody put on your temporal hoodies so we don't burn up with the time rays. Let's go back in time. The 1700s, with a mini ice age happened, and a revolution that took many in its wake. Let's go back in time. Back! This is the Time Newscasters! We're back here in the 1700s, and it's really cold. It's really cold. Let's cut to weather with Mr. Mance.
Well, thanks, Caster. So anyway, at this period, we're having such a cold winter that's almost like a mini ice age. Even back here in the Invisivan, I'm still extremely cold, and I can't even imagine what the soldiers are going through during this cold winter.
We just heard from weather. Now we're going to cut to sports with Mr. Mance as well. Weather and sports are done both by Mr. Mance.
This February Super Bowl is between the Patriots and the Native Americans. Now, I don't know about you, but my money is on the Patriots.
Oh, it's a cold night back here in 1776, and the fire is just barely burning.
We've decided that we're gonna stop here for the night. It's getting really cold, so we're just gonna stop here, rest a little bit, get warm. Cameraman, you should take this blanket, maybe.
Yes, please.
And
all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow with George Rogers Clark. Oh, we survived the night in the cold 1700s.
Barely.
I don't know how the soldiers do this. Our cameraman had to set his camera on auto so we could warm himself up. Got our cameraman here, Mr. Jeda.
We're gonna start the day again with filming.
And we're gonna have Mr. Jeda go interview George Rogers Clark today on Time Newscasters. Thank you for watching. Okay, Mr. Jeda.
Right now, we are traveling to the George Rogers Clark battlefield at Vincent, where our own Mr. Jeda will be interviewing George Rogers Clark. I'm driving while Mr. Mance, the weatherman, is navigating. Where are we, Mr. Mance? Oh, the battlefield's about right over there. Okay, then stay tuned. So we're about to interview George Rogers Clark, our own Mr. Jeda.
I'm here with George himself, and in this crazy time, I might be able to get a few words out of him. Well, George, how are things going for you on the battlefield?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you very much for having me on your show today. Well, in the battlefield, I'd say it's very horrific, especially during this time. It's the winter, and me and my men are struggling for food and water, and all of our supplies are completely going downhill. And I'd say during this time period, it's very difficult, especially because, first of all, can't miss a Super Bowl, Patriots against the Natives, but it's just very horrific to say. I can't really describe it to you. I'm sorry, but we're actually currently in my tent here, and this is where I devise all my battle plans, and I live here basically, but until we capture Vincent from Henry Hamilton, aka the Hair Buyer, we will finally be free and we can go on to our old lives.
Thank you. Back to you, Caster.
Oh, Mr. Jeda, that's amazing you're talking with George Rogers Clark there. But we had to interrupt because we had to have a word from our sponsor, Jokerfish. They're finny and funny and oh so delish. They're joyful and jolly. Jokerfish.
Say, Mom, wondering what to feed the family tonight.
What am I gonna feed the family tonight?
Try me famous Jokerfish. They're smiling smelt, giggly bloopers, and happy attic. Yum, 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 yum. Eat it.
Mr. J, I have this small thing about fish.
Yum, yum, yum. Yes, kids, that's Jokerfish. Tasty, tempting, and of course,
And naturally low in cholesterol.
come to your local stores just as soon as that nasty old Mr. D. Carl Francis decides to give me my legal cut of profit.
And don't forget to watch Batman the Animated Series, now on Amazon Prime.
Ah, there, Vincent! Come on, man!
Now we see the elusive George Rogers Clark as he travels to the Battle of Vincennes. Little does he know that this will be the bloodbath of his life. And now we see, once again, George Rogers Clark as he runs into a bloodbath that will surely end in many's death. Here at Vincennes, we don't know what to do but to watch in horror at this bloodbath.
Alright, it's been a long trip, but we're heading back to our time. 20XX.
So in the meantime, while we're driving, let me just tell you about the rest of Mr. Clark's life after the war. In 1768-86, he helped make a treaty of Native Americans. And then almost a decade later, in 1791, he wrote the now universally accepted theory that the burial mounds in the Ohio River Valley were made by the Native Americans occupying the region at the time. Fortunately, though, he died in 1818 after getting paralysis from a stroke. In 1966, the monument was approved for George Rogers Clark. One of the greatest war heroes.
Sad.
There's a mini monument of our time. There it is. The Great Bear, George Rogers Clark. Alright, well, let's head back to the future. This was an episode of Newscasters Time, people! Yay, alright, we're back! Ah, yes. Home sweet home. Thanks for watching!